Okay, let's get rolling. Hey, thank you guys for joining our virtual hiring event. We do this virtual hiring event every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, Tuesday evening and Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Central Time, and we appreciate you joining. My name is Scott Rumbo. My wife and I, along with some incredible leaders, some of which are on this call right now, along with some of the best and top agents in the country, have built a top producing, top performing master agency for Equus Financial. And we're here to share with you and to provide you a little bit more information. You know, we decided to do this hiring event, obviously during COVID, because everyone went virtual. And we wanted to, not only that, but so many people, 50 million people filed for unemployment. And, I'm a strong believer in that time is our most valuable asset, and time wasted is time we can't get back. So the purpose of this is to provide you enough information so that you can determine, hey, does this stay in my options box or not exactly what I'm looking for, so I can remove it from that option list that I may have and not waste any more time pursuing something that's just not where I want to be. So I would tell you to keep an open mind about our industry, what we're going to go through here tonight. And again, stay till the very end. I'm going to give you some very important information on if you're saying, you know what, this might be for me. I've got a few more questions. I'm going to tell you what the next step is in that process. So please hang in there with us to the very end. We'll probably go about 35, maybe 37, 38 minutes. Again, I want to provide you enough information so that you can make a determination tonight. Is this something I want to speak to someone further about, or not exactly what I'm looking for? And hopefully we can save you some time. So let's jump into it. Let's maybe jump into it. So a little bit about Equus Financial. We formed Equus Financial in 2015 and Equus was formed by industry veterans, very successful industry veterans, I might say, agents and agency builders. The Equus was formed out of a necessity in our industry and particularly in our space, where we specialize in niches such as mortgage protection, final expense, advanced markets by helping people protect money or develop retirement savings plans. Not licensed to do anything where we could lose anyone money, but we just found that there was a need. We felt like there was an opportunity that people were seeking out and were hungry for. People that said, hey, look, if there was a company that was built based on the agent's company, that's something that provided the agent everything they could do to be successful in this industry, whether it be an agent or someone building an agency. We wanted to build that company because it didn't exist. It just simply did not exist. So that's what we set out to do. Our primary business plan was founded on our commitment to provide financial protection to the mostly, I would say, grossly underserved, yet the largest market in America, which is middle-income families. We built a reputation on being a company that builds CEOs of their own income, either on a part-time or full-time basis. You may be someone sitting there right now that said, hey, I've been part of that 50 million people that have filed for unemployment. Or maybe you have a job today. You just found out during this COVID thing for one reason or another, I don't like it as much as I thought I did, or I really want to try to find something else, even if it's on a part-time basis. Maybe you're just here because you say, hey, listen, I don't want to be in a position so that if something happens with my career unexpectedly, like it did to 50 million people, that I have a ton of bills. Maybe you're just here to earn a substantial income on a part-time basis to knock out some bills. That's where I was in 2007 when I was in big corporate America. I was looking for something else because of what happened to me during corporate America and my income. That I said, you know what, I'm no longer going to let anyone control 100% of my income. I'm looking for a substantial sideline income that I can control and knock out some debt quickly. $20 extra a month wasn't doing it. I needed something where I could knock out, $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 a month on the side and knock out some debt. Hey, how about this? Our average part-time person at Equus Financial, I think we're going to see this go up. And I think we're going to see it go up because of the virtual platform that we've developed in my group. But the average part-time income prior to COVID in our virtual platform is $45,000 a year working 10 to 12 hours a week. And you're saying that's more than most people making their full-time job, a lot of people. Well, I'm going to show you. That's exactly why I decided in 2007 with a technology background to get my license, because of that right there. Let's meet our senior leadership team. Owners are previous owners of the company, now leading the company, continue to lead the company. You're saying previous. I'll tell you about that in a second. My good friend and mentor since 2007, Mr. Barry Clarkson, our president and CEO, expanding the Clarkson office out of Lynchburg, Virginia, with the announcement of an 1,800 square foot expansion for our new marketing department. Barry has been in the industry for more than 40 years. Extremely, extremely successful in our industry. It's the only thing he's ever done. And he got his license at age 19, started on a part-time basis while he was going to college at Liberty University, and has never left the industry. But Barry's one of those guys that industry executives and CEOs of these big financial services companies often will call on Barry for Barry's advice about what's going on. What's going on the street, Barry? What are people, the consumers, looking for? What are agents looking for? And then my buddy there, Bill Martin, to the left, met Bill in 2007 at a previous company that a number of us met at. Bill's our executive vice president of sales and teaches our folks how to go out and sell our product. Bottom line, with more than 30 years experience in the industry. And then to the far right there, my good buddy, Mr. Rob Jones, executive vice president of agency development. He works with those that say, hey, I'd like to, either on a part-time or full-time basis, build an agency that produces income doing whatever I'm doing. Whether I have a full-time job, it's producing income, or whether I'm sick or I'm on vacation with my family, it's continuing to produce income. Or maybe when I decide I want to hang it up and just have a business that continues to provide income. Rob helps our folks do that. Our parent company, Integrity Marketing, based out of Dallas, Texas area. To the right there, you'll see a United States map that has a number of different brands around it. Those brands represent the best of the best in their niche market, meaning companies that specialize or in the senior market for final expense and Medicare supplements, companies that represent the best of the best, representing mortgage protection and the new kind of life insurance. You know, what Integrity's marketing or business plan has been for about the last 5 or 6 years was to build relationships and bring under one umbrella the best of the best companies that were out there helping Americans with Medicare subs, final expense, mortgage protection, life insurance, and specifically the new type of life insurance. You know, they figured out pretty quickly. Integrity started off as a company that was going to build products for the insurance companies, the insurance industry. They were going to build products and, you know, make some type of a compensation off of those products they built. Here's what they figured out. When they started building those products for those big insurance companies, they figured out it wasn't the big insurance companies who were selling them. It was companies like Equus Financial that went out and created niches within the industry that I'm going to talk about here in a minute ago, or represented Medicare stuff. They built their own big agencies or marketing companies that were out actually moving these products for the insurance companies. These insurance companies actually contract us, companies like us, to expand the sale and distribution of the product. But a little more about Integrity. You know, we have a network of more than 280,000 independent agents represented within those brands. We'll serve more than 1 million clients a year and have more than 1,200 employees. Actually, the employee count is just over 1,300 now. And this year alone, we're expected to do about $3.5 billion in premium. If Integrity is still a private held company today, again, based out of Dallas, if Integrity was to be placed on the Fortune 500 list today, Integrity would not only rank among the Fortune 500, Integrity would be ranked as the 3rd fastest growing company on the Fortune 500. Very successful company. Very deep pockets in terms of going out and partnering and developing relationships with the best of the best in these different areas within our space. We'll get this, 25% of all Medicare supplement plans flow through one of the Integrity partners. So who leads that group as the senior executive leadership team? Well, you may recognize that guy there on the left, Mr. Steve Young, Hall of Fame quarterback and also a Hall of Fame business executive or business owner. Steve has been extremely successful in his business life after football. And to the right there, Mr. Brian Adams, co-founder and CEO of Integrity Marketing. Again, another absolutely incredible individual. And I tell you, the opportunity that we've had to meet Brian has just been incredible because he has the same values and core values that we represent here at Equus, and that's why it made such a good fit for us. And matter of fact, since we have partnered and developed our relationship with Integrity, which it probably at this point is approaching about 90 days, Equus has grown about 32% since our partnership with Integrity. Hey, you may recognize that guy there on the left if you've attended any other virtual hiring events. That's one of our master agencies and CEO of the Bill Lampe Group, Mr. Bill Lampe, and the brains behind the operation, Ms. Terry Cameron. And there to the right is, of course, myself and my wife, Kimberly. We also have a master agency here at Equus Financial and serve as the CEO of Rumbo Life Group. So let me stop here for a second because you may be thinking, how does the Bill Lampe Group and Rumbo Life Group, what's the relationship to Equus? It's much like, if I had to compare it to the real estate industry, if you have realtors, those realtors are independent. And realtors typically, when they're operating as a realtor, they look for a local broker or a local office in their community to work with. Let's say it would be an Ebby Holiday or a Remax or a Keller Williams. Matter of fact, just to go back, Remax just reminded me, Integrity as a company is 5 times larger than Remax. Financially, if we were ranked with Major League Baseball, the only team that would have financials stronger than, at this point, stronger than Integrity would be the New York Yankees. But so same thing, our model is very much the same. Equus is the marketing and sales organization that is contracted by these big insurance companies, financial services companies, to expand the sale and distribution of their products. We, as independent agents or agency builders or owners, we partner with Equus because Equus gives us an opportunity to go out there and not only put our agents in a position to win because they've got an incredible lead system, so you're only responding to people that have sent a request in, but they also, the marketing program and the leadership alone, the experience that our leadership has to teach us to be able to go out and grow, $10 million in premium businesses. We have agencies at Equus that, produce more premium than some insurance companies out there today. That's why we partner with Equus. The leadership and experience and success that those guys have had, it's the same reason if someone would maybe join a Keller Williams or a Remax again or an Ebby Holiday, something like that, is because the strength and position and competitive advantage it would give that real estate agent, it's very much the same for us. And we've just developed an agency as we built our business with Equus. So we provide financial protection for all. What does that mean? So we've created these niches that we market and have been marketing for some time. Mortgage protection, if you've heard of mortgage protection, it's a life insurance type product that pays someone's mortgage in the event of their death, or more importantly, if they become sick, have a major illness such as a heart attack, stroke, cancer, something that is typically life-threatening yet, if survived, would wipe people out financially. Mortgage protection allows someone to use that policy if they have a loved one that passes because they just lost their income, or if they become sick and survive, they can utilize the money. They don't have to die to use it, so they can pay the mortgage payment and avoid foreclosure and probably even ultimately bankruptcy. Final expense. That's another niche product where it's basically a funeral policy. Both of these, people send in requests. We market it out in the marketplace through a number of different resources, and they say, hey, listen, they fill out a request for coverage, or they call into one of our 800 numbers that's listed on that marketing piece and says, hey, listen, I'm interested in this, and I want someone to contact me. Now, hang in here because I'm going to show you this request they're filling out. It's no smoke and mirrors here. It's no, hey, fill this out and you may enter a chance to win a Walmart gift card or a trip to Hawaii. When they fill it out, they know exactly why they're filling it out, and we ask for quite a bit of information so that we're qualifying them and to make sure that they truly want someone to contact them. The new type of life insurance for living benefits. There's about 815 or so life insurance companies in the United States. About a handful of those a few years ago decided, listen, people are not purchasing life insurance like they used to. Why? And they come to us a lot of times and say, why do you think that is? And we said, hey, well, they don't see the value in it. You know, people are living longer and they're surviving things like heart attack, stroke, and cancer. So they just don't simply see the value in it. Well, about a handful of those people said, okay, we can see that. And that the statistics support that. We're going to come out with a new type of life insurance that you don't have to die to use. If you have a major illness, such as a heart attack, stroke, and cancer, and a number of other things that would typically wipe someone out financially if they survived it, we're going to allow you to use that policy while you're alive to pay the bills. So again, hopefully you can pay your insurance deductible, you can pay the your co-pay that comes in, your mortgage payment, your car payment. We're trying to put you in a position so that you can avoid foreclosure, bankruptcy, and driving yourself deeper into debt. College funding, we got some really cool stuff around that. Tax-free retirement, that's another way that we help people supplement their retirement savings. Asset preservation, such as your mortgage, your home, property that you may have, cash, small business solutions. You know, we've got solutions we can put into place. Think about all the small businesses that have been affected during COVID, where maybe the owner got sick and the owner's the person that shows up at his shop and he's the one that brings the money in. And if he doesn't show up, the door's locked, the money stops. Maybe that person gets sick or something. And we have a policy we can help put in place for them that if that happens, they can use the money, maybe hire someone part-time, keep the doors open, the money coming in. Retirement protection. Again, we don't do anything, we're not licensed to do anything where we can risk anyone's money. You know, 401k rollovers, we're seeing a lot of that go on right now because people are saying, listen, I went through 2007, 2008. I've gone through this COVID thing, the stock market up and down. I can't not tolerate that anymore. I need to put my money someplace safe so that when the market goes up, I can realize some type of gain. But when it goes down, I'm 100% protected. And we can help people do that. Hey, here's a couple statistics. I didn't want you to hear it from Scott Rumbo saying, hey, well, he said this. Well, 66% of all bankruptcies are a direct result of medical debt. Someone got sick and didn't see it coming. Now, you may say, well, those people probably didn't have health insurance. Well, actually, according to this, 67% of those people did have health insurance. The medical debt and bills were overwhelming to the point that it didn't matter if they had health insurance. And did you know the number one reason for foreclosure in the United States is also a direct result of medical debt? Someone got sick and didn't see it coming. Hey, think about this right now. So 50 million people unemployed. Do you think there are going to be some foreclosures that are going to occur? You bet. It's going to happen. But we haven't seen it yet. You know, they typically say that, I was reading something that said it takes about 10 to 12 months after that major event, that major financial event, that you start to see foreclosure by the time it works its way through the process, which according to when COVID started, right, and people started losing their jobs, that puts it around the holidays. And listen, guys, these numbers I'm providing you right here, this is pre-COVID. We've not seen the fallout from these job losses that happened during COVID. Hey, I don't have to even read this to you guys. We hear it hourly. We're reminded of it hourly, aren't we, about the numbers, the number of people that are affected by COVID. And regardless of your opinion on COVID, hey, here's what I want to focus on. More than 50 million people have filed for unemployment. That may be you. Maybe you've had a loved one that lost their income. Maybe you've lost overtime hours. Whatever it is that led you to be on this hiring event. 50 million people have been affected by it during this time. And think about this, guys. When did any of us, while we still had jobs, when did any of us ever plan on taking our, let's say, our $200 grocery budget for the week and spending it all on toilet paper? Really? People were going, hey, listen, I'm getting toilet paper before I'm getting food. And so what happens when you don't have enough cash to go around? You get the credit cards out. So debt starts going up. What happens when that happens, when there's no income? Well, it leads ultimately to the biggest bill that we have. It usually means the house payment's getting behind, right? Which could lead to foreclosures and ultimately bankruptcy. Think about this. Every 40 seconds, someone suffers a heart attack. 7 out of 10 of us on here right now. There's usually about 20 or so on here, 23 people. 14 to 17 of us on here, according to statistics, would require some type of long-term disability or long-term care at some point. 7 out of 10 people. The average cost, if you require some type of assisted living, $7,700 a month. $7,700 a month for assisted living. Wonder what kind of house payment that would pay. I mean, how much would the house be? It would have to be like, what, I don't know, maybe $1.5 million, $1.6 million, something like that, depending on your interest rate, $7,700 a month. And every 30 seconds, someone's diagnosed with cancer. And most people are surviving these things. Let's talk about the market. You know, one thing that happens, guys, when I went through, I was in big corporate America, working for a big telecom company, and successful. I would say successful according to, you know, what people say is the level of success in corporate sales. Capped, unfortunately, with my income at about $300,000 a year. Number one salesperson in the country. And I only say this not to brag, to say I always thought I had job security. There's no way I have to be concerned about my job. I was bringing in more revenue from my accounts than most sales teams in the company. Again, I don't say it to brag. I just say I thought I had job security. Well, in 2007, hey, and some of you may be able to relate to this. In 2007, new executive team comes in, takes over. What's the first thing that usually happens? Their mission is we're going to increase sales and cut budget, reduce the budget. I don't know how, as the number one salesperson bringing in $100 million a year, I got budget cut. You know, I went in a matter of about a 20-minute conversation. It seemed like it was 20 seconds. So the only thing I heard was, we're taking $200,000 away from you, affecting your next paycheck. And I was like, how can that happen? How is that possible? Now, some of you may be saying, well, that would leave you with $100,000. Well, here's the other thing. I said, okay, so you're taking the money away. What does that mean for my future here? You really think I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing for that? And they said, well, no, we're going to bring in someone that and pay them a lot less than you, a lot less than the 100 you're even going to have, because they just need to maintain your account. We don't even care if it grows, just maintain it. So brought someone in cheaper, right? And I go, okay, well, if you're giving someone else my account, then what am I going to do? And they said, well, your future is undetermined. At that minute, that moment, guys, I walked out to my truck. I remember walking to my truck. Kimberly also had a corporate job, and I'm thinking, what just happened? And how the heck are we going to pay the bills? Because it was probably the most expensive time in most of our lives when we had 4 kids between middle school and a senior in high school that were moving quickly to college, right? And you're thinking, I just lost a ton of income and probably my job here pretty soon. So what am I going to do? Well, I'll tell you this. Long story short, I put the word out, started looking for another job. I got another job months later as the vice president of sales for a home theater and security company. Go out and build up a sales organization. Well, here's one thing I had to look at. Then I also decided at that point when I was on the way home that day that I was promoting myself to the CEO of our income right then, that no one would ever control 100% of my income ever again. So not only was I going to look for a new career, I was going to look for something where I could make a substantial amount of money that I controlled somehow on the side. So if something happened to me again, not all the money would go away. I would still control a portion of it. So one thing I had to start looking for as I looked at the industries was, is the market big enough? Is it large enough for me to be able to jump into it and make money? Has it stood the test of time? And I can tell you most of the companies that are in the industry we're in have been around more than 100 years, some of them 150 years. Is the opportunity for me to make money big enough? Can I get back to making a nice living, making a 6-figure income? And is the product or service needed? Do people actually need it? Well, our industry in 2015 reported $814 billion in revenue. 2019, $854 billion. That's expected to top $870 billion this year. It's the only trillion-dollar industry in our country. And think about this, guys, 70% of people, 70% of us, again, on here right now, 7 out of 10 of us would say if we lost the income of the primary breadwinner because they passed or they lost their job, could we pay the bills? Think about it. Could we pay the bills if we lost that income? 40% of Americans don't even have what we have, what we offer, the protection we offer. And it's estimated that the unmet need for life insurance or financial protection is $15.3 trillion. And these companies have been around for more than 100 years. I was safe in saying that and comfortable in making the decision that this was big enough, there was enough money in it, and the product or service definitely had a need. So the platform's second to none. There's no cold calling. We're not going to ask you to go out and start cold calling. We're not going to ask you to make a list of friends and family. If somebody does, don't do it. They won't hear. So we're not going to ask for a list of friends and family. We follow it with families that are requested to be contacted. I'm going to tell you how we do that in just a minute. We have a world-class training platform that we put together and spent millions building over the last few years. It's available to you 24/7. And you're probably thinking, what does it cost? Nothing. Just log in. And we also I developed in my group specifically, a virtual platform, 100% virtual agent platform where you can work from the comfort of your home, part-time or full-time. We have people that are on that platform, a part of that team right now. Matter of fact, they're on another Zoom right now doing live appointments. There were about 40-something agents on there, about 2 or 3 of them doing live appointments. The other 40-something were listening to those folks do live appointments so they could learn how to do it themselves. And then a number of people just doing live appointments while they've got themselves on mute while the rest of the team's out there doing it as well. So they've got support available. So they run into something and go, I'm not sure about this. They can turn right to the Zoom screen and go, hey, guys, I'm going to put something in the chat. I got a question here. I'm with a client right now. Build an asset that will provide income for years to come. Hey, here's some of those companies. We've got about 40 total. But you recognize some of these names. They're household names like Mutual of Omaha, John Hancock. They have an exclusive product with our company. CVS Health, they own CVS Pharmacy and Aetna. We have an exclusive product that we just rolled out about 6 weeks ago or so. That's a final expense or funeral policy with the CVS brand on there. Do you think people have confidence when you call them and say, hey, just getting back to you about this request you sent me about the funeral policy that you want information on? I actually represent the new CVS Health final expense policy. You know CVS Pharmacy? Have you heard of Aetna? It's underwritten by Aetna. They go, oh, yeah, I'm a representative of that product. Our company has that exclusively. So what did you have in mind? What were you looking for? What was your concern? Again, a number of different companies, like over 40 of them, that are household names. How do we find these folks to talk to? Listen, again, we're not calling them up, just cold calling them. Let me give you an idea here. Let me kind of paint a picture here for you. Mortgage protection. Again, pay someone's mortgage in the event of their death, or they can use it to pay the bills if they get sick. Every time there's a new mortgage or refinance in the United States, it's filed at a local courthouse. It's public record. We are sent that data every day of the week. That data comes to us. We then turn around and send out a letter to them. You're going to see it here in a minute. Yes, a letter. That's one of the ways we get the information out there to those folks that just had a new mortgage or refinance. And that letter goes out. And for, guys, for about every 100 people, 98.5 of them are going to throw it in the trash. They're going to, just like they just moved in, they got all the stuff coming in the door, they're going to throw it in the trash. 1.5% of them are going to fill it out and send it back in and request that someone contact them with the information. They're going to put it in an envelope, mail it back in. Still the number one way we get requests. We also do Google ads and Facebook ads. So digital requests that come in, again, we ask them for the information from their mortgage about themselves so that we can qualify them, just like this. This is an example of a direct mail or a mail-in lead, a request, mail-in request. So let me just kind of paint the picture for you because it's real small here, but just say this is addressed to Bill Martin at 123 Main Street in Fort Worth, Texas, which is where I'm at. They just closed on a loan with ABC Bank for $250,000. Says you may qualify for a mortgage protection program, which you pay your mortgage in the event of your death because your family just lost your home and your income. Your family just lost your income. We're hoping they don't lose the home. Or if you get sick, the major illness such as a heart attack, stroke, cancer, you can use it to pay the bills, including your mortgage, again, so you don't lose the home. Then we have them fill out a request for coverage. If you'll notice, nowhere on here do we say, hey, if you fill this out, we'll give you a t-shirt, we'll send you a t-shirt. If you fill it out, you may enter a chance to win a Walmart gift card. There's nothing like that on here. They know when they fill this out, it's exactly what it's for. It's a request to have someone contact me to give me the information regarding these options. So we have them fill out their name, date of birth, or age, height, weight, smoker, non-smoker, home phone, cell phone, work phone if they have those still, and do the same thing for their spouse. Let me ask you guys this that are on here. If I'm going to Kimberly, and I would suggest you go to your wife and ask these questions, because if you fill this out wrong and you sit down with this person and she looks in there and goes, where'd you get that information from? So if I were to go to Kimberly and say, hey, could you fill this out? She's going to fill out her height and weight. Do you think these people are serious about wanting their information? I think so. Okay, listen, hey, when those come in, so all these requests come back in, they go into our lead system platform. These numbers on this screen represent families. So these are families. So you can see the states here in the gray. You click on the state, it breaks it down by county. If you go to the far right-hand side, you'll see bold numbers. Scroll down to the bottom of those bold numbers. That's 164,232 families that requested someone contact them regarding our mortgage protection product and have not been helped by an Equus agent yet. If you click on the drop down underneath the red tab where it says mortgage protection, it'll say final expense. Click on that and select it. There's about another 25 or 30,000 families who have requested to be contacted. At any given time, there's over 250,000 families a week that we have access to that have not been helped by an Equus agent yet. That's why you're on here. Listen, I wanted something when I was looking around that was industry proof. That was recession proof. 2007, our business accelerated. Even with the mortgage is declining. Final expense requests accelerated. During COVID, every part of our business, every area of our business, every niche has accelerated with requests. People during this COVID period are seeking financial protection for their family because they cannot see this illness coming if they get sick. They can't see it, so they're preparing. They want to make sure that they have things in place to protect their family financially. The platform, hey, here we go. We built it. Here's the training center I was talking about. Click on New Agents Get Started here. There's all sorts of archives of videos where we're talking about, hey, what do you say when you call someone? I'm going to call and say, hey, Bill Martin, Scott here. Got your request about your for mortgage protection on your loan with the Wells Fargo for $250,000. I'm the guy that goes through the options with you. What time do you and Cheryl typically get home? And I'm going to set a time to give you a call back, and we'll talk about what your concern was. So right here, you click on that, you're going to go to this page. Step 1, make dials. That means, what do you say when you call them? Scripts and guides. Want a PDF so you can print it off? They're there. In-home presentation. Well, many times you can, hey, listen, if you want to go out and see people face-to-face, you feel that's the best way to do it, you're more than welcome to do that, as long as you're comfortable with it and the client's comfortable with it. If you want to be 100% virtual, absolutely. You can join our 100% virtual team and do that as well. Whatever you feel comfortable with is where we're going to train you. Podcasts, all these, we have sales calls on Friday where we have new agents on there talking about what did you do to be successful as a part-time person at Equus. Those are all recorded and archived on here. Again, more resources here, video resources. You can go watch these guys that are with the owners of the companies and top producers saying, here's exactly what I say. It is an absolute turnkey system. You do not need prior experience in our industry. You do not need to be educated in our industry. Matter of fact, no offense, but we prefer that you don't, because we can just teach you our way. If you do have experience, we just say, hey, just learn it our way. It's been very successful. This is the dashboard here that I just want to show you this because, listen, we spent millions of dollars on our technology. The industry, up to really about 5-6 years ago, most of the industry is still operating out of manila folders and paper applications. That's no way to run a business as an agent or an agency. So we said we have to make all that stuff digital. It's got to be electronic. It's going to be electronic applications. And when you submit your applications, instead of pulling out a big stack of applications and calling the insurance company saying, hey, what's the status? You can go right here. For this example, you can see that at this point in the month, the agency has submitted 581 applications for $608,000 in premium. 173 of those still going through the approval process, and 454 have already been settled, paid commissions out to the agents, and boom, policies out the door to the clients. I just showing you this because I want to see there's real people on here. If you hit this scroll button, these are agents that have submitted business for this month, and I took the screenshot. It scrolls and scrolls and scrolls forever. Yes, they are real people, even though they asked me to cover their faces up. But you can see Brandon there submitted 90 applications for the month. Average commission per policy, $700. Tanya down there is our top agent in our master agency out of Houston, Texas, 73 applications. Average commission, $700 for all those that are approved. Become the CEO of your own income. Hey, that's what I decided in 2007. Now, I ultimately lost that corporate job that I told you about, that second job, because 100% of our business was dependent on us meeting with homeowners. Talk about bad timing. When the housing market crashed, we were no longer meeting with homeowners. And it wasn't 48 hours later, the owners of that company came in and said, we just can't afford you. I had already gotten my license and started in this business on a part-time basis. I just said, hey, just give me more time to go run more appointments and meet more people and make more money. So never look back after that. There are no company startup fees, no monthly fees, no maintenance fees, no franchise fees, no membership fees. You just need a life insurance license from your state, which costs a couple $100 with your online study course. How do you do that? You're going to get back to the person who invited you here, but hang on. I'm going to tell you there's a step, a real important step that I'm going to share with you here at the end. 2 paths, part-time or full-time. Part-time agent, virtual agent, face-to-face agent, or a hybrid agent that does both of them. You pick. You choose what you're comfortable with. We're going to help and mentor you in either one of those directions. Or you can also be an agent that also has a desire to build an agency. I'm going to give you an example of that. You know, the insurance companies, these big insurance companies that pay people to do 2 things for more than 100 years. Sell policies to people that want to be protected, and hire people to sell policies to people that want to be protected. We'll talk about that in here in a second. The 100% virtual position, $100,000 plus. Is that true? Yep. You're full-time. Hey, listen to this schedule, guys. So we worked on this thing for about, what are we going on now? 6 months now, but let's say 5 months, this virtual position. This wasn't an option before COVID. We typically went out and saw our people face-to-face, sat down at their kitchen table with them because they didn't want to order anything off the internet or the TV. They wanted to sit down with someone that could see eyeball to eyeball and say, hey, how can you help me protect my family financially with this mortgage protection product? Or put a policy in place that would cover my funeral expenses so I wouldn't burden my family. They wanted to do business with a person. Well, when we were able to go virtual, we said, we think this is going to change the industry forever. And I truly believe that. So we worked on this program and continue to work on it. The full-time position here is a 4-day work week with 3-day weekends, Monday through Thursday, about 28 to 32 hours a week, 4 days a week. We have part-time people on our team making $500 a week extra, pay some bills off, knock them out, up to our top agent. He just told me this morning, the 21-year-old that I developed the program with, Connor. deposited $42,000 in his bank account this month. The previous month, it was about $40,000. The month before that, it's about $38,000. It's going up a little bit each month. So it just depends. You know, maybe you say, hey, listen, $5,000 a month would be great for me. And working 4 days a week, and from the comfort of my home, we'll show you how to do it. How do you get paid? Here's your time to get your pen and pad out or your tablet or something to write on. This is a mortgage protection example. Average premium, it's always been this way. Ever since I've been in the industry, about $84 a month someone would pay for mortgage protection. Here's the way the insurance companies pay the compensation. They take that $84 and they go times 12 months. So roughly $1,000 annually. You're going to go, Scott, it's a little bit more than that. I'm just going to round down to round numbers, easy numbers, and be a little bit conservative. Commissions for an agent range from 70% to 120%. So let's take 70% commission of that $1,000 annually someone would pay. Remember, they've only paid 1 month of $84. The insurance company's going to say, your commission is $700. We've collected 84. However, we're going to advance you 75% of that $700, which is $525. So when I say $700 average commission, there's your $700 right there. Paid daily directly to you from the big multi-billion-dollar insurance companies. Not Scott Rumbo, not Equus. Paid directly to you, direct deposit it daily. You could get paid on a Monday, you could get paid on a Wednesday, you could get paid on a Friday, you could get paid every day. I get deposits every day, even Sunday nights. The other $175 that they held as in the beginning, it paid to you months 10, 11, and 12 as long as your client's still paying their premiums. Build an agency. So how do you make $45,000 part-time? Take that $700. How many do you have to do? I'm going to show you here in a second. Not a whole lot, guys. That's why I got my license. Remember, I was looking for something that paid substantial commissions or income on the side so I could knock out some debt and bills. Building your own agency, commissions range from 5% to 50%. How does that work? Here's an example. My good buddy, Johnny Brooks, firefighter. Johnny will always be a firefighter. He has no desire to stop fighting fires and helping families. He became a part-time agent. Why? Because, you know, he loves what he does. It's not the greatest paying job, right? Most firefighters and police officers or a number of other professions, they do it for the love of it. It just doesn't pay too well. So they have side jobs like mowing lawns or hanging Christmas lights. So Johnny's part-time. About 2 years ago, Johnny asked me, Scott, if you were part-time again and you were going to maximize the compensation these insurance companies pay, how would you do it? I said, Johnny, I would focus on protecting one family a week. You can do more, but one family a week consistently. Now, you could do it all in 1 week if you wanted to, do 4 in a month. That paid $500 average commission. Now, I'm taking the upfront commission on this one. Not the back end, the upfront, which was $525. Remember, I'm going to be conservative. $500 times 4 weeks, $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year, 1 a week or 4 a month. Then Johnny, working with his mentor, I said I would go out and hire 8 part-time people. Now, they're not going to be exactly all 8 part-time people in most cases. There may be some full-time people in there, but I said hire some 8 part-time people. How do you do that? He could hire some of his firefighter buddies. Or he could not bother them and he could just go run a Facebook ad. We'll show him how to do that. Or a ZipRecruiter ad. We'll show him how to do that. Craigslist ad. There's a number of different ways you can do it. Like I said, hire 8 part-time people with expectation. They're not going to do any more than you do. They just do about what you do. The volume of business that Johnny's little part-time agency was sending the insurance companies said, thank you, Johnny, for hiring those people and training them to go out and write business with our company. Johnny earned himself a 20% commission raise for doing that. The insurance companies paying Johnny that 20% commission on those agents, those 8 agents sending that business in, same way they've been paying for more than 100 years. Equaled $5,000 a month. $5,000 a month passive. $60,000 a year plus his $24,000 a year, that's $84,000 part-time. Now, you probably said, sitting there thinking, Scott, you picked out the guy that makes the most money part-time. Nope. We have people that make a lot more money than Johnny part-time. They have big agencies out there part-time. I just like Johnny's example because he's one of my buddies, and I think he's pretty cool as a firefighter. Hey, so Johnny put the plan in place a couple years ago. 2018, he made $80,000. 2019, made $125,000. I talked to him 2 weeks ago. He said, I'll be between $150,000 and $160,000 this year. He wrote a few more policies and hired a couple more people. You want to go full-time? Just double those numbers. And that's, $160,000, $170,000, just double those numbers. Great vacations that you can win. Hey, this is how we take our trips every year, Kimberly and I. I'd much prefer, these are 5-star vacations. I'd much prefer somebody else pay for them than me, to be honest with you. Hey, I'm a little tight when it comes to stuff, but I take these vacations by just going out and winning them. So you still have time to do it. We'll have people that'll start a couple months from now and knock these out. That first one, Santa Fe, New Mexico, 5-star resort, it's about 85 applications that are approved. That second one there, do a few more policies, and you can win the trip to Banff, Canada, where you're cruising across the Rocky Mountains in that train right there with that glass top, and then staying in cool hotels. This is how we take our vacations. These insurance companies are known for doing these incredible vacations. Now, don't leave yet, because here's the next most important step. Whoever gave you the link to jump on here tonight, you need to get back to them as soon as I jump off here in a minute. Text them if they said text them right now. Call them, email them, however they said to get in contact with them, do it tonight, because we have thousands of people that are requesting to be on this hiring event. We select a certain amount of those that we select from the group, and we're not looking for everyone. So get back to them and say, hey, I'd like to set up a time to talk. I got some more questions. Guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. Hey, listen, thank you for taking the time. I don't take it for granted, so I hope it was time well spent. Thank you. Appreciate it.